When I was younger, my mom used my credit cards and stole my identity.
I did not open up credit cards behind her back. I opened up credit cards with a joint account with her.
My mom was paying bills with credit cards in my name.
I couldn't afford the payments anymore.
When I was 19, I found out that I was about $50,000 in debt. I was devastated.
She was building up her debt, not me.
When my mom moved to a new apartment, she put my name on the lease. My family got evicted, and now the eviction is under my name. My credit is ruined. I cannot be on any leases. It is very hard for me to buy a car. I do have to file bankruptcy because of how much debt I'm in.
Drinking was allowed. Drugs were actually encouraged for this teenager in the home. And she says that her identity was stolen by her mother, and she was driven $50,000 in debt. What happened?
Well, I don't know too much how credit works and everything. All I know is that my ex was helping me look through my credit, and I guess you told her maybe that I was in debt, and I looked and I have a file from, or a credit card from like 19 years ago, it said, and I don't understand. I'd be like, well, a couple years old, and...
When you're ready, I'll refresh your memory.
Go ahead.
When Lauren was turning 18, I tried to help her establish credit, so I opened her credit cards, and I did it in a joint account. Lauren had those credit cards in her hand. She would go to McDonald's, she would go out, buy gifts for your friends, run it through the gas station, go to the store, buy McDonald's, buy food, buy whatever you want. I bought your music equipment with those cards, everything that was purchased. So then 10 years later, after I lost my job and I could no longer pay the bills, you look at me and say, I didn't know.
Well, I didn't know.
I had no idea. You didn't teach me this. You didn't teach me any of this. As far as the cars are concerned, yes, we had a repo on there. You've had 3 brand new cars that I went above and beyond to get you. I tried my hardest to pay it. I'm working, I'm paying your bills. You're spending while I'm paying. I'm working, I'm paying for a car for you, and I didn't even have a car. I went out of my way to get you anything that you ever wanted, okay? Yes, things fell behind, everything got out of control. I lost the car, everything just went to shambles. I couldn't afford it. I had no choice but to let it go. I told you, as far as the apartment was concerned, we left the apartment. I was trying to get away from my ex-husband.
Did you rent an apartment in her name?
Well, yes, I did, which she signed along with my stepdaughter, because in order for me to go back into the apartment complex said I would have to wait a month till they cleared out the balance that I paid, which I paid, but they said if you just put it under her name, it would be okay.
Your stepdaughter?
Yes.
His daughter? And who's the mother?
The mother lives in New York.
Do you know her?
Yes, I know her.
Was it your best friend?
Yes.
Did he have an affair with your best friend?
Yes.
And had a daughter?
And had a daughter. And
so you're raising the daughter that he had with your best friend through an affair?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. So through all of this, you're trying to get away from him.
Right.
So you go rent an apartment in her name.
It wasn't like that. They messed up something in the office, and they said I had to wait a month. We would have been homeless if she didn't put it in her name. Mm-hmm. And if
but nonetheless, there's an apartment in her name. And how old was she when this apartment was rented?
19, 20.
And you said that, did you live in that apartment?
I did for a little bit, yeah.
Did he live in that apartment?
I don't believe so, no.
Afterwards. He was in...
Where did y'all all live when you were 17?
We have lived together and lived separate so often throughout her whole life.
How old are you now?
I'm 26.
You're 26. So at 17, then you were still living at home with your mother?
Yes.
Was he there?
Off and on.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.